Hey everybody, it's Karen from Waterfall Acrylics. Happy Friday, happy weekend, woohoo! Going to do a little pour today, got a lot to talk about. Try to keep it, short for me, half an hour, maybe 40 minutes, we'll see. What do I want to show you? Results from the last couple of videos. First off is Mr. Neon Guy. This one sold in a heartbeat. So I'm thinking, I should probably do another one. It's almost dried and cured, not cured, but dry to the touch. There's my favorite cell right there. That one that looks like an olive. I love that. Rather shiny. That's the GAC. I'm assuming. It was fun to watch it dry because it was the GAC with Floetrol or glue, but they kind of duked it out. The GAC went out for the shine, which I'm happy to see. It did take probably a day longer with stuff mixed into the GAC. I think if I would have just did GAC 800, it would have dried in like a day. But really super happy. My hairdresser bought it like the second she saw it. So off that one goes. So I'm probably going to make another one. I do like that it dried darker, particularly like on the edges. It actually helps with the drama and the colors, and that blue background is just, I think, is amazing. So you'll probably see those colors once more. And then the blue guy I did on New Year's, it cracked. I'm like so bummed out, and I don't know why. I haven't had a crack in a painting in months and months. And it acted weird. So I got a big old crack right there, and it couldn't have been like, in the black or in the stripe. It had to be right in the middle of the blue. So I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. And then I have another one, where is it? A little baby one somewhere down here that is no big deal, like right there. But the thing I wanted to show you that it did while it was drying, besides that one crack that's just, is like it fractured like some of the paint. It's not cracked, it's like in the paint. It's not like the coating, if that makes any sense. But once you guys check out like this little area right up here, let me get real close. See how it has all those wiggly lines? That's not cracked. That happened like a couple hours after I put it on my table, my drying table. And it has that in a couple different places. I don't know if that's the Floetrol, because I know I use Floetrol because it has the speckles everywhere. But I was like, what the hell is that? I mean, it looks cool, but it's definitely, this is dry. It is not cracks. Let me see how close I can get. Like there, see that? And up there, I don't know what the hell is going on there, but I don't know. It's still not quite dry. I have to figure out what I do about that crack in the middle. I love this one, like really. Like I was super, super happy with this guy. Yeah, that's a crying shame right there. So I'll have to figure something out because I just love like this little bit here. I just think it's adorable and so cute, and I was really happy with it. And oh wow, bummer. So let me get you down on the canvas, show you what I'm working on today. So I'm going to do a little diptych today. I have two 12 by 12 gallery wrap canvases here. Let me futz with my base and my camera. There we go. I ordinarily don't take requests for paintings unless it's a true commission. Then of course, I'll try my best to do what you want. But I got a request, and I'm not going to name names, but somebody had a loss in her family where her sister died pretty young too, at age 38, and she contacted me and asked me to do a painting in blue for her sister, and I said, of course, So that's what I'm going to do, but then I was, giving it some thought because I'm like, I just don't want to do any old blue painting for her. So I definitely have a variety of blue, and I thought I would do a diptych so it represents the two sisters, one for each. And then I added, blue to me is a color of calmness and of hope. I'm adding some silver because there's always a silver lining even in times of death and sadness, particularly as you go through the mourning period. maybe 2-3 years from now, you look back, you know, you always have fond memories. So that's my silver lining, which is of no value right now when you're grieving, but hopefully maybe down the road. And then some white. So my colors I'm going to use for this is I have Cobalt Hue Blue by Winsor & Newton, which is this guy right here. I'm going to not talk about my cerulean blue just yet. So for my silver, I have the Plaza Art Studio series, and this silver is rather dark. I'm like, that's a little too bleak. So what I did was take this and mixed it pretty much half and half with some iridescent white, and I got like this really like brighter, happier shade of sparkly silver for that silver lining. Pretty happy with that shade. This is what it looks like with just a little bit of white, and you can really hopefully see the difference between the two colors. So I wanted the brighter, happier one. I thought I had iridescent fine silver, which is a really bright silver, but I was out of it. So that worked out fairly well. The next blue we have is Winsor Blue. Winsor & Newton, that's this guy right here, Winsor Blue. And then I was gonna do black. I'm like, you know, black is mourning and death. I'm like, oh my God, that's just too sad. So instead, you know, since the request was for blue, I'm going to do Prussian blue in lieu of black. So there's my Prussian blue. And then finally, you know, I wanted Summer Sky Blue, which is a little lighter than this, but this blue goes, this light blue, which is just the Artist Lofts, goes really nice with those colors. So I'm gonna add that. So that's one request. The second request I got, well, not a request, but some folks are still struggling with mixing, and you know, I'm here to help as much as I can with my little pea brain. So I thought I would set aside one color and show you how I mix it with my pouring medium. Just the one, the rest are ready to go. So the last color in my set today is Cerulean Blue Hue by Winsor again. I think this is, look at that. I have three. One of these times I'm gonna do painting and just use one brand of paint someday. But right now I got 3 out of the 5 are Winsor. I forgot to mention that the Prussian blue was Amsterdam. So here is probably an ounce of the Prussian blue, because this is just a 2-ounce little tube, and I used just about half of it. So I'm gonna say I don't measure or weigh my paints, but there's about an ounce of paint right there. And I'm gonna do is add my pouring medium, just enough to cover it, so it's about 50-50. My pouring medium recipe today is interesting because it's 12 ounces of Elmer's Glue Wall, 4 ounces of Golden's GAC 800, and then 3 ounces of Floetrol and a dash of water. So just a little bit of everything but the kitchen sink. So I wasn't going to put in Floetrol, but then I saw my cracked blue painting. I'm like, you know what? Let me just throw a little bit in to hopefully negate the cracking. My house is very, very dry, and even though my drying table is completely covered, like no air gets to the painting. So I'm like really shocked at that blue one that it got a crack. So anyway, so what I do is I just take my pouring medium and I cover my painting, pretty much like that. And then I give that a good stir. Still loving the bigger sticks too. I'm gonna have to buy more. And what I'm looking for is, I expect it to be thick and gloopy, but not this thick and gloopy. Like if it's that thick, it tells me I don't have enough pouring medium. I still need it to be a super heavy cream, and that's just too thick. So I'm gonna add a dollop more of my pouring medium. I'm almost out of it for today. Kind of something like that, a good, almost enough to cover the whole thing, not quite. And give that a good mix. You'll be able to tell fairly quickly, like, okay, It's still going to be gloopy, but it's definitely creamier. And the thing I like to liken it to is making frosting for a cake. If you're a baker, I'm a half-assed baker pretty much, but I do know that the more you whip when you're making frosting, certain types of frosting, the stiffer you want it to be. This is the opposite of that. So the more I stir, the creamier it's getting. And see, it pours a little and it doesn't just flop down. So that, to me, that's pretty good. So that's good enough for me to add my water. And so my cup of water, whatever kind of water you need, I'm fortunate in that I can just use my tap water. Other people use distilled water. Whatever you use, go ahead and add. And my first go around for this is pretty much like my pouring medium. Not enough to even cover the top of that paint in there. And I'm going to give that a mix real quick. I like to beat it like an egg. And then I'll take a look. Pretty smooth, right, when it pours off the stick. But if you look at that trace, see how much it sits on top? And it doesn't disappear into the paint, that's still too thick. So I'm gonna add just a little touch of water, like that. That's, I don't know if you can, hopefully you can see that. I chose this color because it wasn't too dark or too light, so hopefully you can see. But that's like how much water I have in there right now. I'm gonna give that a mix. And I can already tell, like as you do this for a while, you'll get a feel for the paint on your stick and in the cup, like, oh, it's easier to stir. Oh, it feels creamier. Like you'll just be able to tell after a while. This is an art, not a craft, so I can't give you an exact recipe to follow. That's almost there. It's still leaving a bit of a trace though. So I'm gonna add just another touch of water, like that. I like to stick my hole where the water went in because I'm silly, and give that a stir. If I think I've added too much water, I would simply just add another dollop of paint. But this is feeling great now. Let me give that a good mix with my stick. And there's my pouring medium. So it hits the trace hits the cup. It lasts about a second and then it disappears into the paint. So that's pretty perfect. And when I compare that to my other colors, pretty much the same deal. So after I've mixed each one, I always like to go back and I compare, because it will ruin a painting if you have different consistencies in the cup where one's really thin and one's thicker, because that thinner paint's going to want to run and it'll cause rivulets. I see that all the time on the acrylic pouring page, and people want to know what they've done wrong, and it's usually the inconsistency of the various paints that they used. So I go along and I check each one to make sure they're as close to as possible as I can get them by feel. So there's all my colors. As usual, I have a giant cup of tea white today as well, and the white I'm using is just my Artist Lofts flow acrylic. So I think that's 2 to 3 things I wanted to talk about. Let me think about what I want to do today. So since it's going to be diptych, I'm just going to do some pours, and I think I'm going to do 5 cup and do the third one right along the seam, even though I'll lose some paint, and then have them come down so they kind of match. So that's the plan. I'm all talked out already. Haven't even started, haven't even done anything. All right, let me go ahead and add my Spot On treadmill silicone. I don't know how this got so dirty. I always try to keep them clean like my torch, and then that goes to hell. So I usually try to add a drop per ounce. These are 9-ounce cups, so I really should do 2, but I'm gonna do 3 because I want to. No other reason than that. This is cerulean blue, hardly has any. I'm just gonna do 1 in there, 1 in this blue, 3 in this one, and 2 in the light blue, and 3. I have a lot of silver, so I'm gonna do 3 in the silver. And give those a light stir. So they're all good to go. All right. Let's rock and roll, right? Anything else? I actually had to make a cheat sheet today. I'm trying to be all organized for the new year, and I actually had made post-it notes of things I wanted to talk about. So talked about the request, I demonstrated mixing. I want to talk about selling, so let's talk about that as I mix. Before we talk about that though, well, it's kind of related, is that I want everyone to know that, and this is going to sound so bitchy, and I don't mean it to be, but my waterfall acrylics page is my sales page. Like, I spent a lot of time and a bit of money advertising the page to sell my art, even though I have my Etsy shop. So typically on that page, I don't answer questions about processes, because I do know for a fact that 80% of my followers are not artists. They are just people who like art and might be in the market to buy something. So I don't talk about process. So if you ask me a question there and it looks like your post has disappeared, normally what I do is I'll hide your post and then respond to you in a private message. So, I mean, I don't want to be rude to you guys either. I want to help out, but I typically do not talk about my process on that page deliberately, because I don't believe my customers need to know how the sausage was stuffed. Yeah. So that said, I did sell a painting this morning off my Facebook page. One of my all-time favorites is going to get mailed out today. I forgot, I think this is Out of the Blue. I put him, he was on, like, this one's such a favorite of mine. It's been hanging in my living room. So I pulled it off the wall this morning because it's gonna get mailed out. So congrats to the buyer of that one. You're getting a good one for sure. So let me see how I want to layer. And then I'll talk about selling. And I think my silver and my white are just going to get interlaced as I go along. So I'm going to put the silver next to the white. Yep. So do some blue. So selling, to me, setting your prices is a personal decision. I have pieces anywhere, like my little guys, anywhere, I think from like $25, $30 for little ones and clocks, up to, I think my most expensive one is $600. And how I determine that is a couple of factors. I used to use there's charts everywhere on pricing on like how much cents you should charge per square inch. I think that's a good place to start. To me, just go with 50 cents and figure it out from there. That said, I also take into consideration a lot of other factors. One is, first and foremost, is the canvas. I don't use student grade canvas. I tend to buy gallery wrap canvas, you know, thicker, heavier cotton, and that costs me more money. If it's on wood, it's particularly the cradle wood, which is really expensive, and that's not like I can go to Michael's and get that, you know, 70% off or whatever. I usually have to pay nearly full price for those. So that plays a factor. And then the wood also comes with other work involved, namely the resin and the sanding. So those get factored in. How much labor am I putting into it apart from the pour? And if I'm putting down barrier coats for resin, and then I'm adding 2 coats of resin, and then I'm spending time shining the wood or making it smooth, etc., that all factors in. So those are the things you have to think about. If you look on my Etsy site, you'll be able to tell, because I'll have ones, older ones that are probably just done with mini wax polyacrylic on canvas, and they'll be anywhere between $100 and $150. The larger ones are $250. And then anything on wood is obviously more. So don't underprice your work. And this is going to sound like I'm total snob, but I can't think of a like politically correct way to say it, is how good is your piece? Like, I factor that in. I'm like very, very critical, and I'm gonna use white first, hold on. I factor that in. Like, how's the composition of this one? Is there any muddy spots? How are the cells? How marketable is this? Is this color selling? I give thought to all of that, and since I'm fairly critical of my own work, I will place a premium on how good the actual artistic work is. A good example of that is probably my most expensive painting is the first Twin Towers, which I think are listed for $600 because of how good the cells are, how good the background is, the combination of colors. And then the work on the wood and the work on the resin work is like, it's all, that set is flawless. You can't find a mark or a bubble or anything in that twin set. So I place a premium on that. You know, the workmanship. No one ever really talks about that. But like, really, you need to be a little bit self-critical on like, this is one of my better pieces. Or like, this one's okay. It's one of my usual ones. Like, that's my thought process when I go to price. So, yeah. What else can I tell you about selling? I'm trying to deactivate my Facebook sales page because I can't get to it half the time, and it's my page. So that's kind of worrisome. If you sell on Etsy, I've done, I think, I don't know, 6 or 7 on Etsy. There's a lot of fees that they take. What do I want next? The white? Yeah. Or the silver. Do white and then silver. Some things are nice is that if you have on hand, you got to think about shipping if you're going to sell. And what are you shipping it in? Are you just going to wrap the canvases, which I have done, which actually works out? Are you going to box everything? Whatever you're doing, once you should do a practice one, weigh it, take the measurements wrapped so that you can put that into Etsy so that it can calculate the cost of shipping for you. Or take it to the post office and have it weighed. And then you have to figure out, like, do the furthest away point. Which you can't always do, but I'm on the East Coast. I'm like, how much does it cost me to, I'm trying to think what color I want next. How much does it cost me to ship to, say, California? That part is tricky. I usually lose a couple bucks shipping, unless it's overseas where I have it set so that I calculate manually, and I'll take it to UPS or USPS and have it weighed so I can let the customer know how much shipping's going to be. So that part is hard, I'm not gonna lie. So, I'm trying to think of any other things I can tell you. Packing is ultra important. Customers pay attention to the packing, that it's well packed and that it arrives safe. I've had customers mention that on Etsy. It's something that people look for. Let me see. I need a light blue. And Feel free to totally disagree with me. I'm just telling you my experience so far in doing this. I tried to ship out within 3 days, and if I have a problem, like have a customer who bought a clock, and I had to order hands. So you know, communicate with your customer like, hey, I'm not going to get it out in 3 days. It's going to be a week or whatever. I usually try to get them out same day or very next day. I think I have sold equal amounts between Etsy and actually just people contacting me on Instagram, honestly. People will just send me a direct message on Instagram and inquire, and then we just message back and forth. And I've done quite a bit in that regard. Like the paintings that went to India, that was all via Instagram. God, you guys are making me talk all business today. No fun stories, just business, business, business. All right. Can you tell I'm doing a lot of layering? Just a little bit at a time. I really want a little bit of everything. So, sorry it's taking longer because I'm not doing big layers. These are all little layers today. Okay. Let's get this over. Yep, lots of little layers. Keep chipping this first cup though. Let me check my sticky and see what else I'm supposed to talk about today. Oh yeah, see, good thing I took notes because I'm like, you have a lot to say. So today's Friday, doing a pour, maybe 2 today. I don't know if I'll film the next one. We talked out. Wait. But on Sunday at 3 is the live pour, 3 o'clock Eastern Daylight Savings Time. So set your alarm or get up or stay up late, wherever you are, whatever the case may be. I'm going to give you guys a couple choices because I've been getting a couple requests. I'm not going to do a tree ring pour because I don't feel like I've conquered those enough to do one live, and I'm super picky about them, so I'm not going to do that. I had a request to do a beach pour, and my thought on beach pours is I love them. One, I do. I really love them. But 2, like a million other people have them done. Like there's like a ton of them. Either the wave or the thing where people, you know, do the blues with the sand color at the bottom or whatever, particularly with resin, and then they add the white and blow it around and make waves. There's like a million of those. So what I can offer instead, because, you know, I want to be different. It's like, you know, I want to do my own thing, is to do maybe an ombre midnight blue beach pour, which means it would be really dark. It would be ombre, like at the top, like midnight blue, and then it would get lighter as it goes down to the bottom. I have a 12 by 24 canvas set aside, so that's one idea. Another one is to do a stripe pour like Ilkeby does. And do I want any more paint? Let me stop and think a second. Get the black on top. Seems like a lot of paint. Is there any color I mixed? Looks like I used them all. Used most of the silver. Maybe just a touch of the cerulean blue, and then I'm done. So I was thinking of doing a striped painting and doing what I call carnival colors. So it would be bright and happy and a lot of blues and pinks and greens and yellows, and just doing pours with stripes but with a ton of colors and seeing what happens. That's another idea. And then the third idea is to just do another neon pour like the guy I just showed you, because I am going to make another one of those. So ombre, carnival, stripes, or neon. Those are your choices. Let me know in the comments. If I don't get a lot of comments, then I'm just going to pick and do whatever I want. Or, you know, if I get more of one than another idea, maybe that's what I go with. But those are the three things I'm thinking about for a live pour. So, it goes my movely. All right. I don't tape because I do like to put them to the side. Let me see if one side lines up better or gets a little closer or snugger. Let me move my paint out of the way. Stick that there for a second. All right. I'm gonna move up, give myself some room, and then move this a little further back. Not too close to the edge. You can pretty much see almost everything. That looks pretty good. Okay. Ready? Here goes nothing. I hope this works. I hope this is pretty. 1. 2. I'm gonna save that one on the in the middle section for last. 3. 4. A lot of that's just gonna run through that hole. See, when you do this on wood, the wood really like gets up nice and tight and close. But I think most of it's gonna end up on this canvas. But we'll see. Kind of go like that. All right. Gosh, let's talk about something fun now, right? My husband went to Home Depot yesterday, and without prompting, I don't even know what he went for, but he came home with a gallon of Floetrol for me. And I was like, oh, that's a thoughtful present. And he's like, really? I'm like, yeah. He's like, so I can forego buying you a diamond and just get you some paint? And I'm like, yep. Which was really nice. I was all happy about that. He's like, you're so easy to make happy. I'm like, I know. These little things cheer me up. Moving all my paint out of the way. All right, please be pretty. All right, here we go. Ready? I think I'm gonna drag just a little bit. So I wanna make sure I get to the bottom. Kind of like that, and let's do, I don't feel like fighting with my corners. But that looks really pretty so far with the silver. 1, 2, not enough paint came out. Right. Get on again. of paint in that cup. Look at that. A lot of paint. And the last guy. I'll let some of that just leak out. And put the rest on the edge. It doesn't look like it's moving too much through the crack. That's good. I wish these guys would say hi to each other. Oh, look at that. That's just blowing pop bubbles. See, did you see that right there? Watch, right here. Oh, make a liar out of me. Go ahead. Nope, didn't do it. All right. Handy dandy torch. Popping bubbles sideways. I'm going to move some around a little bit. I don't think these two match up, but this might match up with this over here. I might turn the whole thing around. Do you see that? Like what I'm talking about? Like that matches that better than this and this. Let me get these two to just touch up a second before I torch. Yeah, we'll leave that like that. All right, let's give it a torch, see what happens. This one doesn't want to torch up really. How about you? What was that? Gross. Right in the middle. Luckily it happened now before we tilted. Something stuck to the bottom of my torch. It's always something, isn't it? See what happens. What do I want to do? I want this to go that way first. So that's what I'm going to do. Is separate them and have these guys go this way a little bit. And let me just work on this guy first. Can you see? Yeah. Let's move him up out of the way a little bit. Yep, see, I lost a whole bunch in between the crack. I knew that was going to happen, right? See what I'm talking about? How they're going to line up. As long as I don't pour too much of it off. It doesn't seem to be going anywhere, so... Let me come down and get those to marry up. Good. All the way. And then come back. There's like this really cool white and blue squiggle thing. That's a very technical term. The squiggles. I'm gonna try and stretch that out. That's pretty cool. All right. The cells coming toward me are going to bunch up, but once they get down here, I'll go back the other way and try and stretch those out, because they look like they're pretty great. Get off. Get. All right, not gonna worry about you. One little tiny spot, not gonna fight you. All right, let me put that down right here, because I have that color on my finger. Right there. There. Help this corner out. Okay. Oh, that's pretty. Two love blues, man oh man. All right, we stop there for a second. Let's slide him up, kind of out of the way for a second. Take a look at this guy. So you got a big gap here and a big gap there. Oh, damn wavy stick. Hold on, I need a big stick that's not wavy like that one. I'm just staring. I decided I didn't like that one little line on that end, so I wanted to say bye-bye to it. I'll bring my cells back. Try to do the same on this one corner if I can. I have plenty of paint. Off you go. There you go. Come back. I like that one swoosh of white. I want to keep that. Just kind kind of cool. There's my GAC double cells. Love that. Love that. There and there and there and there. They always like to be together, little twinsies. This stuff does make the best cells, I swear. All right. Let me put these together. Oh, I missed a corner up there. So, hey, honey, I'm recording. Shh. Be done in a second, okay?
Hey, gotta tell you something.
Okay, afterwards. I'm not gonna like that corner, you guys. So, let me stare at it a second. Figure out what to do about it. Right there? Yeah, me no likey. This corner. Oh, that's worse. That is worse. That has too much white. What does this have? Ugh. Oh, that's better. There we go. Better match colors. Give that a torch. All right, let me put them side by side, see what we got. See, I have them both going. Let me turn the orientation. Let me turn this one all the way around like this. And turn this one. Don't stick to my tarp. All the way around. Check it out. So pretty. I actually think the orientation should be this way. It looks like the winter sky with shooting stars or something. So pretty. So pretty. Let me look at my sides. I'm pretty good everywhere. Let's see, you guys have a favorite? I am favoriting I like this. It looks like a winter storm or something. And I love the Prussian blue right there. Is that what I used? What was my darkest blue? Yeah, Prussian blue. That's really great. And I love the hints of it here too. Just let me walk around, look at the sides and everything. Got a little bit here, just like enough you can make it run down with your finger. Right there. That's white right there. So I don't have to worry about that. I got a corner right here. I don't know, guys. You guys can see. I'm like behind the camera right now, and a little spot here that I can do off camera. So 2 little spots. That's really, really pretty. It kind of cheers me up after looking at my other blue one. Let me get my gloves off, get you guys down for a close-up. Is that paint? No, that's paint. That's good. Some pretty nice cells. Great backgrounds. Really, really pretty backgrounds. Glad I did all that layering. Looks really nice. Where am I? Let me come down and then I'll say bye. How long is this? See, yeah, 49 minutes. I knew it was going to be long. Sorry about that. But there's the first one. So let me come up here and come down lower. And the cells in this guy. But to me, the background makes it just gorgeous. That's what I like to see, not just a mass of cells. And then you have your cells down here with the white rings around them. Really, really cool. And then this guy here, he's pretty too. I love this here. It looks just like a wisp of clouds with those cells. So pretty. I'm glad I saved that part. Cells here, and then it comes back down to the white, and I love these white cells down near the bottom with the like the blue gray. It's part of the silver and the blue mixing together. Super, super happy with this one. There's the whole thing. Yeah. And 50 minutes. Sorry, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to me ramble on about everything I wanted to talk about. So real quick in the comments, let me know if you want the ombre, midnight blue, kind of beachy pour at night, carnival stripes, or neon. Those are the 3 choices. And I'll see you guys Sunday. Can't wait. Take care. Bye-bye. Can't turn it off. I can't turn it off. I'm stuck on.